Alright, 68 is a little harder than the other ones because that's not a Pythagorean triple. That's bottom line with that. We need sine and cosine. All we have here is we have r over x or y, and here this equals r over x. So for sine of alpha, we need y over r. So that just means I'm going to flip this, which is what? 1/2. And we also going to need cosine of alpha. And for here on this side we have we need sine of beta and cosine of beta. Cosine of beta is x over r, which is going to be negative 1/3. So what we're missing is cosine of alpha and sine of beta. And when you do the Pythagorean theorem, you'll get 1 squared plus x squared equals 2 squared. So x equals plus or minus root 3. Since we're in quadrant 2, for alpha, we're going to have to take the negative portion of the root 3. So this is going to be negative root 3 over 2. Alright? And these are the ones on your unit circle, so these kind of make sense anyway. This one, we're going to have negative 1 squared plus y squared equals 9, or 3 squared. So we get y squared equals the square root of 8, plus or minus square root of 8, which is plus or minus root 2. Since beta is also in quadrant 2, that means that we're going to use the positive portion, because sine is positive. And this is root 2 over 2, sorry. So this is going to be, I'm kind of trying to squeeze this in here, equals plus 2 root 2. And it's not letting me put it in there, so I'll just put it up here. So this is going to be 2 root 2 over 3. And this is just using right down here the Pythagorean theorem. Now, you need to write these down because we're going to use the formulas to get this. So we know sine of alpha equals 1/2, cosine of beta equals negative root 3 over 2, sine of beta equals 2 root 2 over 3, and cosine of beta equals negative 1/3. So I have those written down, and we're ready to use our formulas. First one, sine of alpha plus or minus beta equals sine of alpha times cosine of beta plus or minus cosine of alpha sine of beta. Now we're just going to plug these in. I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use purple. So sine of alpha was 1/2. Cosine of beta is negative 1/3. Plus or minus cosine of alpha is, this is cosine of alpha, negative root 3 over 2, and sine of beta is 2 root 2 over 3. So we get negative 1 over 6 plus or minus negative 2 root 6 over 6. So sine of alpha plus beta equals negative 1 minus 2 root 6 over 6. 6. And sine of alpha minus beta equals negative 1 plus 2 root 6 over 6. You need to write these down. For cosine of alpha plus or minus beta, we get cosine of alpha, cosine of beta, minus plus sine of alpha, sine of beta. You just plug everything in. Cosine of alpha is negative root 3 over 2. Cosine of beta is negative 1/3. Minus plus sine of alpha is 1/2. Sine of beta is 2 root 2 over 3. Multiply it through and you get root 3 over 6. Minus plus 2 root 2 over 6. So cosine of alpha plus beta, and remember this case we're taking the top part for the plus. This goes with the minus here. So it's going to equal 3 minus 2 root 6 over 6. And cosine of alpha plus beta, minus beta, sorry, is the opposite. So that's going to equal 3 plus 2 root 6 over 6. Okay, now we're going to do tangent using these two values along with the sine of alpha plus and minus beta. So write these down. Okay, the first one we're going to do is tan of alpha plus beta, which is sine of alpha plus beta over cosine of alpha plus beta. I wrote these down. My sine of alpha plus beta was negative 1 minus 2 root 6 over 6. And my cosine of alpha plus beta was negative 1 plus 2 root 6 over 6. Let me see. I'm going to make sure. Okay. My cosine, I messed up there, so I hope the video's okay. But my cosine of alpha plus beta is 3 minus 2 root 6 over 6. So what we're going to do here is cancel out the 6, and we have negative 1 minus 2 root 6 over 3 plus 2 root 6. And to get out the radical, we're going to rationalize the denominator by multiplying by the conjugate, which is 3 minus 2 root 6. 3 minus 2 root 6. Now you're used to doing this, and we know the denominator here is the form a plus b times a minus b, and we should get a squared minus b squared. So we multiply these two, that's 9, minus 2 times 2 is 4, and root 6 times root 6 is 6. So 4 times 6 is 24. The numerator is not as easy. Let's just FOIL it out and see what happens. So we get negative 3 plus 2 root 6 minus 6 root 6 plus 2 times 2 is 4 plus 24. So when you combine all this, we get, we're going to add these two. That gives us 21. Then we're going to combine these two, and that gives us negative 4 root 6. All over 24 minus 9 is negative 15. And that'll be your final answer. Unless we can simplify this. And I don't think we can. So there we go. We're going to do the same thing with tan of alpha minus beta. We're just going to use sine of alpha minus beta over cosine of alpha minus beta. Sine of alpha minus beta is -1 plus 2 root 6 over 6. And cosine is 3 plus 2 root 6 over 6. And we're going to run into the same issues here. I'm going to go from here and just rationalize here to save room. So it's 3 minus 2 root 6 times 3 minus 2 root 6. And I think we get the same thing we did before. That's going to be 9 minus 24. And the numerator, I believe, is the same as well. -3 plus 2 root 6 plus, this case is plus 6 root 6 minus 24. So the numerator changed, and we're going to get -27 plus 8 root 6 over -15. And we're done with that. The next one we're going to use is the double angles. We need sine of 2 theta, which equals, we're going to use alpha, I believe. We're using all betas on this. So beta is 2 sine of beta, cosine of beta, cosine of 2 beta equals cosine squared of beta minus sine squared of beta. And then tan 2 beta, we're just going to divide these two. We'll divide whatever answers we get here. So basically we're going to divide sine of 2 beta over cosine of 2 beta. So on the beta side we have sine of 2 beta equals, sine of beta is 2 root 2 over 3 times -1/3 this is 2 times this. So we're going to get -4 root 2 over 9. And for cosine of 2 beta, we're going to get -1/3 squared minus 2 root 2 over 3 squared. Again, this is for cosine of 2 beta. That's 1/9 minus 8/9 equals -7/9. And in order to get tan of 2 beta, I'm just going to take these two values and divide them. -4 root 2 over 9 over -7 over 9. The 9's cancel. These will turn into positive, so you get 4 root 2 over 7. And this goes with the tan of 2 beta. Now we have to do the half angles. The first half angle we're going to do is sine of alpha over 2. Since alpha belongs to quadrant 1, or quadrant 2, alpha over 2 belongs to quadrant 1. We discussed this in class. That means we're going to use the positive portion of our formula, which is 1 minus cosine of alpha over 2. So we get 1 minus cosine of alpha is -√3 over 2. I'll divide it by 2. And I'm going to put this over common denominator. 2 over 2 plus √3 over 2 divided by 2. If you multiply these two, we're going to get square root of 2 plus √3 over 4, which is the same as the square root of 2 plus √3 over the square root of 4, which equals square root of 2 plus √3 over 2. Okay? for cosine of alpha, we're using beta this time, beta over 2. Beta over 2, same situation, belongs in quadrant 1, because beta belonged to quadrant 2, and we discussed it in class. So we know in quadrant 1 they're both positive, and we're just going to use the 1 plus cosine of beta, and this is the plus for the quadrant, over 2. Cosine of beta is negative 1/3. I'm going to go ahead and write this as 3/3 plus a negative 1/3 over 2, which equals square root of 2 over 6, because I'm multiplying those two and subtracting those. So that's root 2 over root 6. When you rationalize the denominator, you get root 12 over 6. Root 12 is 4 times 3, so that's going to be 2 root 3 over 6, which equals root 3 over 3, because 2 goes into 6 3 times. Last one we're going to do is tan of alpha over 2, not alpha, but beta over 2, which equals 1 minus cosine of beta over sine of beta. 1 minus cosine of beta is negative 1/3 over 2 root 2 over 3. And clean this up, we have 3 over 3 plus 1/3 over 2 root 2 over 3. The 3's here will cancel. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So you have 4 over 2 root 2. Now when you rationalize it, let's just take the square root of 2. So you have 4 root 2 over 4, because 2, this is 2 times 2 here, and our answer would just be root 2. This is it.